This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Have a few popsicles.
Books that have LGBTQ themes in elementary schools and whether parents can opt their children out of it.
It's skewed to show the Israelis as the aggressors.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Heat dome, 75 degrees today, 85 tomorrow, and we'll break 90 for 3 days starting on Sunday. Summer is in like a lion. Don't worry, this little guy at summer camp in Sioux Falls, South Dakota has got you.
It's about to be 108. My mom's picking me up early. Drinks a lot of water, put sunscreen on, maybe have a few popsicles, and just try to stay cold.
Correspondent Jim Crisula tells us how the nation's energy providers are preparing for the coming heat.
With brutal heat expected to spread across much of the country over the weekend and into much of next week, operators of the nation's power grid say they are ready to meet an expected increase in power demand.
200 million Americans are under heat alerts, and that number will grow over the weekend. Iran just got hit by a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. It happened in the center of the nation, but it was felt in Tehran, the epicenter of the war with Israel. President Trump spoke about negotiations happening today between Iran, Britain, Germany, and France.
No, that didn't help. No, Iran doesn't want to speak to Europe. They want to speak to us. Europe is not going to be able to help in this.
Yesterday, Trump gave Iran 2 weeks to come back to the negotiating table before he makes a decision on whether or not America will enter the war. A Texas appeals court has ruled the city of San Antonio cannot pay for out-of-state trips for women to get abortions. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The San Antonio City Council had voted to allocate $100,000 into its Reproductive Justice Fund to support abortion-related travel. The Texas Attorney General sued, saying the city was transparently attempting to undermine and subvert Texas law and public policy. An appeals court agreed and granted a stay. This temporary injunction means further appeals are possible.
A federal appeals court is ruling President Trump is within his rights to deploy the California National Guard over immigration raids. The ruling by the 3-judge panel allows nearly 4,000 National Guard troops to remain deployed in Los Angeles. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
The real question is what's going to happen next, because things very much have calmed down in Los Angeles. So I don't think the National Guard will be leaving, but the question is whether they are justified in staying indefinitely while ICE agents do their raids.
California Governor Gavin Newsom sued the president over his decision to deploy the California Guard. With just a little over a week to go in the month of June, we're still awaiting some big rulings from the U.S. Supreme Court before the session is over. CBS reporter Jan Crawford.
We're still waiting on the big case about nationwide injunctions. There's a really interesting case about whether states can require age verification for adults who are trying to access some porn sites. There's a hugely important case about books that have LGBTQ themes and characters in elementary schools and whether parents can opt their children out of some of those story time books.
16 billion passwords are compromised after one of the largest data breaches in history. Logins to social media, VPNs, and user accounts for companies like Apple and Google have been left exposed. The passwords are often put up for sale on the dark web and can be used for identity theft, fraud, and blackmail. There's a controversy brewing on Long Island over the New York State Regents exam study packet for an inaccurate definition of Zionism. Israeli parents of high schoolers studying there are angry.
There's nothing extreme about Zionism. It's loving my country.
The packet includes historical inaccuracies about Israelis.
It's incorrect. It's propaganda.
This is the Anti-Defamation League.
It's skewed to show the Israelis as the aggressors. It's skewed to show the Israelis as criminals. and the Palestinians seem like completely innocent actors here, and none of that is true.
It set off a firestorm of comments at a school board meeting 2 weeks ago.
Sitting in a classroom and seeing my people, my history, and my homeland distorted and mocked in an official school handout was heartbreaking.
The superintendent acknowledged it contained language that was offensive, and it was not written by anyone in the district.
Offensive and inaccurate materials such as this do not meet our standards of excellence and are not something we take lightly.
He says all Regent study packets will now be reviewed by their district first. Legislation in the works in the Pennsylvania House would allow local governments to raise taxes in order to fund cash-strapped fire departments and emergency medical services. Currently, more than 850 of Pennsylvania's 2,500 municipalities impose some form of a fire tax. State Democrats want to double that. 90% of Pennsylvania's 1,700 fire departments are entirely staffed by volunteers. And it is the first official day of summer and the longest day of the year. Sunset isn't until 8:49 tonight. Summer technically officially starts at 10:42 p.m. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a museum that even weatherman Jim Cantori can love, and triplet days of 90s on the way. Weather next with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The call for tonight, on balance, fair skies and partly cloudy. That said, though, a few spots, particularly closer to northwest Pennsylvania and western New York, will pick up a shower, even a thunderstorm, low temp 60s. Tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, more humid. A thunderstorm or shower, too, especially western and central New York with high temps into the 80s. And on Sunday, good deal of sunshine, very warm to hot and humid. High temperatures on Sunday, mid-80s to the lower 90s.
Thank you, Kevin. For the first day of summer, it's a good day to kick off a summer feature. Our own Mark Webster makes his staycation destination debut right now. Let's listen in.
Some call it the weather capital of the world, and that's where we're headed today on Family Life Staycations. Drivable, family-friendly summer trips around the Family Life listing area. I'm Mark Webster, and today's destination is the Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, home of this guy. February 2nd's annual Groundhog Day celebration is known the world over, but whether or not you can make it to Phil's big day, you can always get your family weather fix at the Weather Discovery Center, where Lisa Waxmunski is executive director.
Once a year, the eyes of the nation turn to this tiny hamlet in western Pennsylvania to watch a master at work. The master? Punxsutawney Phil, the world's most famous weatherman.
And of course, then came Bill Murray and company in Groundhog Day, the movie, 1993, and that forever, I think, seared Punxsutawney and weather together in America's minds. And we get the Weather Discovery Center. Now, how did that come to be?
We are the weather capital of the world, obviously. So that makes Punxsutawney the ultimate destination to learn about weather.
I was glancing through the roster there. Anybody who follows weather, you see names like Jim Cantori. If he shows up at your town, you got some interesting weather probably ahead.
Yes, if you see Jim, you should be definitely keeping an eye on this guy.
For sure.
But yeah, he's a friend of the center. We do have 2 exhibits that you can find sort of in our lobby and leading you into the exhibit hall. One is our precipitation puzzler, which is a lot of fun. It gives you 60 seconds, and you need to build these weather pieces, or it blows them all away. So
no pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. Families love that one. Then we have our frozen raindrop. That one's really cool, too, and it actually explains the science behind it, too. It works with a strobe light, and it's sort of like magic for the kids. Beyond that, we have a giant dump, and that is the center of our folklore landscape. So you can go in there, you can check out little Punxsutawney Phil-sized bed and table and chairs, and just some fun facts about the movie and Groundhog Day in general, and then a lot of weather folklore on that whole area of the exhibit. The meaning behind red sky at night, sailor's delight, and there's some fun things about cows and chickens and the moon phases, and we're actually right now in the middle of getting a brand new moon exhibit, which is going to go up there, and it will teach kids how the phase correlates to the tide and to fishing. So that's a really fun center area. We also have a tornado twisty slide. And we've had kids ages 1 to 100 ride that slide. When you get to the top, it's motion activated, so it feels wind and it feels like you're inside of a tornado. We have our pull-up clouds exhibit, so you can learn all about the different clouds and then actually pull them up to see how high they are in the sky. That one actually goes to the very tippy top of our building. We have 3 old vaults in this building because it was an old post office, and we converted one into an exhibit. It's an emergency storm shelter. So that one's really fun. And it's nice to take your kids in there. If you got your family together, you can kind of learn what to expect during a storm, what you should put in your emergency kit. Really good information. We have a landscape topo box, which is one of our favorite exhibits, and it's filled with a rubber granule material. So you can move that around, change the landscape. You'll see the colors change as you lift it up and down. And then you can use your hand to make it rain in there. Mm-hmm. The kids love that. We have such a vast array. We try to cover all the different topics of weather.
Give us the quick rundown on a visit, hours, admission, all of that.
It's seasonal. Our hours do change by seasons. Right now we are open Wednesday through Sunday from 11 till 3. We do field trips, scout groups, things like that, and we can work outside of our normal business hours for those. So if anyone is ever interested in that, you can get a hold of us on our website, or you can give us a call at 814-938-1000, and we can get you set up with that. In the fall, our hours change to Thursday through Sunday from 11 to 3, and then we typically have extended hours through Groundhog Day when it's around Groundhog Day.
I imagine it's a popular time then.
It's very popular.
That's Lisa Waxmansky, Executive Director of the Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center, today's Family Life Staycation destination. I'm Mark Webster. Please join us again next time as we highlight another fun place to visit on Family Life Staycations.
Come on! You can subscribe, listen to, and share Staycation Destinations and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
To make progress in saving, use more than one bank account. Hi, I'm Rob West with the Faith and Finance Minute. Keeping all your money in a single account, such as a checking account, makes it more difficult to manage. It's better to have at least 2 accounts, one for checking and another for savings. When you get paid, transfer a set amount from your checking to your savings. That way, the money won't get mixed in with your other funds. And here's an even better idea. Some online banks allow you to open multiple savings accounts with no fees. You can have an account for emergency savings, one for auto repair, one for Christmas gifts, and so on. Setting up multiple savings accounts is a simple, no-cost way to keep your money straight and save toward your financial goals. Manage your finances wisely with the easy-to-use FaithFi app. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store, or learn more at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, don't get in the water. A big birthday on the docket today. We've got it after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. After a brief break from the warmth and humidity today, the heat and humidity will be making a comeback this weekend on our way to some midsummer heat early next week. The call for tonight, on balance, fair skies and partly cloudy. That said, though, a few spots, particularly closer to northwest Pennsylvania and western New York, will pick up a shower, even a thunderstorm, low temp 60s.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Finally at 5, just so you don't miss it, today is the birthday of a big movie. CBS reporter Peter King.
Today marks 50 years since the premiere of the summer blockbuster it was in.
You yell shark, we've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
And if that didn't keep you out of the water in the summer of 75, you're better than I am. Happy anniversary, Jaws.
And that's the world that we live in for the first official day of summer, Friday, June 20th. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.